broadcasting to viewers in Liberia and across the globe. Hello and welcome to News Today on KMTV. My name is Anthony Kukui. Wherever you're watching us from on this weekend's edition, we say thanks for joining our news broadcast. Let's take a look at stories making headlines.
On political participation, women have to be aggressive. We be, lingling or a woman. If I go there, what do people will say about me? And a man who killed somebody during the war, that we all know can be elected 4 times. How much more about you who never kill a chicken?
Campaign for equitable participation in government continues to increase as YWCA Executive Director calls on women to be more aggressive in the political field. And Progressive Alliance for the Promotion of the Purple Agenda threatens to flog Representative Yeke Koluba for what we shall be finding out on this edition. Welcome to KMTV News. The Liberia National Law Enforcement Agency, that's association, Friday ended its 23rd edition of the Wilfred E. Clark Forum on Social Justice and the Rule of Law. Speaking at the forum was the Commissioner for CID and Interpol Affairs, Charles Blake, who called for the upgrading of the Liberia National Police Training Academy to ensure it provides necessary competence in present-day policing. He named logistical support and training as some of the major challenges confronting the effective operation of the police investigation nationwide. Also speaking at the program was Assistant Justice Minister for Litigation, Wise A. Wise, who challenged public defenders to pressurize judges to submit the list of detainees for fast-tracking cases at the court. But first is Commissioner Blake, followed by Assistant Minister Wise.
If we're a system to be effective, all 3 of these components must be necessarily efficient. None must be overcrowded or congested, rustic, and corrupt. There must also be a mutual respect and a harmonious working relationship between the 3 components. When the needed logistical support are available to the investigator, the identification, apprehension, and timely prosecution of suspected criminal is cardinal, as long delays are usually the major reasons why criminal cases are thrown out of court. There are challenges when the analysis of print lifted from crime scene cannot be made due to the lack of well-equipped forensic laboratories. In getting or identifying a suspect who have been involved with a particular crime become difficult, if not possible, when relying on results from the forensic lab. As the producer of our security personnel should be upgraded in status so as to attract more competent and needed substantive resources.
It's very difficult when you have a system or situation where you have the police are not equipped to the level of other police in the South-Region, other developed countries. The police have a lot of constraints. Also, prosecutors, most of our prosecutors do not have a vehicle. The issue of the MOU between the prosecution and the police is It's ongoing, it's cordial, the region is very cordial. We got to work with the police, because without the police, we're going to have a successful prosecution. We understand that whenever a criminal defendant is being brought before the court, there are limited affirmative defense. Me, when they did this, or this might happen. They have alibi, they also have a flag, they also have a mistaken identity, and they have man denial. So it's always good to break in. At the end of the day, when you should have put that behind bar, they have justice. What they have, because if someone commits a murder, and person tells the prosecution and the public defender, like, yes, I killed the person, but there are sometimes they want to bear the evidence. It's very important to bring in the courtroom, because I have been expressing this. When someone want to confess, public defender says, no, I can defend you, this, that. Once the case is clear, it's clear. So we want to go beyond this to ensure that the justice ministry is always willing to work with you, the organization, to ensure that I understand that.
At the same time, the Director for Public Information at the Judiciary, Anthony Dara Ambrose Mann, said it is about time that political intimidation at various courts in Liberia be stopped, mainly among politicians. His statement was buttressed by the acting head of the National Commission on Human Rights, who reiterated the need to protect the rights of suspects, noting that the issue of overcrowdedness in prisons across Liberia needs to be addressed.
The challenge also is the political intimidation of the courts, and that's a reality. You know, I went to one of the magistrates. She was filming this few days. Because why? There's a criminal matter, justice has to be done. So somebody brought a criminal case, the state brought a criminal case against somebody. They issue a rate of arrest. The pro tem says you cannot effect a rate of arrest. When I'm ready, I will be. And the judge is furious. It has in other jurisdictions, the judge would have arrested the pro tem. Yes, but in Liberia she can't do so. So she's frustrated and she's angry. But the other party, the state that brought the person before the court, cannot do anything. They go and get policemen, all the policemen again, and they get police. So they believe that those are political intimidation. Because another party has come before the court, and the court now executes its mandate, and then somebody with power says, you cannot do this until I am prepared. So those issues are serious issues confronting the judiciary in adjudicating successfully criminal matters before the court.
Another issue of pre-trial detainees. Plenty people around this country in plenty places in our prison and detention centers, they never heard their charge. They have never been to court. That is a concern to human rights. How is it that you overstay in jail and you never heard their charge and not be brought to court? And so we are saying freedom. And then of course it's back again to the civilians, but these are animals, we don't care. Let them go if we can try them. Because they should be tried, administered within 2 terms of court, isn't it?
2 terms of court,
yeah. 6 months, the 3 or 4 months after that, if you cannot try them, let them go. And we say that. It doesn't mean we want criminality in this community, but we're talking about the rights of the suspect. The correction detention centers are even appalling. They don't mean no standards. Most of them don't mean no standards. In fact, all of our prisons and the basic in the bed in the Western are overcrowded. This central prison will be for about 370 twice a year. So the last time we visited, about 1,000 more there.
Over now to the University of Liberia, where the Environmental Protection Agency, in collaboration with the University of Liberia, has launched the School of Environmental Studies in Climate Change as a graduate program at the university. The program will offer a master's degree to students in a drive to equip Liberians in addressing climate change. Serving as chief launcher at the program was Magidi County Representative Albert Jones, who viewed climate change as a national threat that needs to be addressed by national and international partners.
What we said those days was environmental determinism. That either your action change your environment or the environment change your action. Today we are grateful that in the minds of the technicians in this field of study are able to come up with a curriculum, and not only a curriculum but a department to which many Liberians we have the opportunity to study, and not only study, but specialize in environmental science and climate change. Today, like you heard other speakers, that we have about 40% of the tropical rainforest in Africa. When we go back far to history, we'll tell you that we even have more than that. But because of human action, our forest is depleting on a daily basis. So we want to say to you, the ozone layer is depleting. Climate change is real. Climate change is not a myth as perceived by non-believers. Let me join other speakers to call on our international partners that we are a member of the world. We are a member of the international communities. This is why we are joint effort and are able to sign international treaties, one of which was mentioned by the Deputy Director for the EPA that was signed in Accra. And not only that, Liberia has signed a lot of treaties because we see climate change as a threat. I hereby use this opportunity to officially launch the School of Environmental Study and Climate Change at the graduate program of the University of Liberia.
At the same time, EPA Deputy Executive Director Ronald Dubayu has called for more budgetary allotment to the Environmental Protection Agency in fighting climate change.
Now, the timing of this program could not have come any time better than now, when it is scientifically clear that our country, Liberia, is highly vulnerable to coastal erosion and flood due to limited infrastructure, technology, services, and most importantly, nourishing capacity gaps. At the launch of this program, the EPA is encouraging young Liberians to take absolute advantage and embrace the concept that a nation that is scientifically sound is better than a nation that is politically wild. We need more scientists than politicians, because scientists will inspire our innovation, create our imagination, develop our infrastructure, build our economy, secure our future, and build for a resilient environment. The craft of our national budget should now see it extremely necessary to mainstream climate and environmental sustainability, because the whole world today is doubling efforts to bring their economy, bloom their economy, and build their resilience. Mainstreaming the environment and climate change in our national budgets benefit us as a country by honoring the co-financing requirement from our donors, right? It makes it easier to get funding and support from our donors and partners. Let's take for instance today, we are accessing money, we are trying to source money from the GCA for the Monrovia Metropolitan Coastal Area. We want 40 million. Where in the world we will say we are a serious country, we are a serious group fighting climate change, and we don't have one cent to show in our quest to fight climate change. Today we are here as a government very proud of this school. I mean, what have we planned for this school today? So as government going forward, it is extremely necessary, where it took technicians, it took scientists, people cut off their sleep to make this day a success. And look in our national budget, there is not a cent there available in our national budget for EPA. Everybody crying on EPA, go and look for the money. How do we look for the money when our government go and set a budget and do not consider climate change and the environment? So on this day, we are amplifying our voice and we are becoming a champion, calling on our government to increase resources in the budget for climate change. Not just to talk about it, but to put money in the budget.
Also speaking at the program was your president, Dr. Ophelia Weeks, who said that the program is well needed by not only the school, but the country.
Our responsibility at the university is to look at where we need development in our nation and prepare individuals to undertake those tasks, to effectively and efficiently develop our country. And one of the things that struck me when I served as dean was that we needed perhaps a little bit better management of our water, of waste, of pollution in our country. So I went to the EPA. At the time, Madame Vohiri was the head of that organization, of that agency. And I learned that the EPA had developed a draft of a graduate program for environmental studies. And we started working towards doing something about it. And to be launching this program at this point in time is quite fitting also, because we are seeing in real time some of the effects of climate change on nations around the world, in our neighborhoods, in our communities. And I'm also happy because this year, for Peace Day, International Peace Day, the University of Liberia, through its Kofi Annan Institute of Conflict Transformation, had as its theme climate change. And about a week ago, we celebrated that the International Peace Day, Day of Peace, with the theme of climate change. And so a week later, a little over a week later, here we are at the University of Liberia, about to launch a well-needed program.
If you're just joining you watching News Today, half an hour news program that brings you up to date with unfoldings in Liberia. Still ahead of us, Progressive Alliance for the Promotion of the Purple Agenda threatens to flog Representative Yeke Kolba for what? We shall be finding out right after this break. Welcome back and thanks for rejoining. The chairman of the pro-democratic group Progressive Alliance for the Promotion of the Purple Agenda has threatened to flog Montserrat County District 10 Representative Yeke Kolba. The threat, according to Henry Johnson, comes in the wake of the continuous action of Representative Kolba in insulting President George Weah. He challenged the Montserrat County lawmaker to desist or face his wrath soon. Mr. Johnson has been speaking more to Emmanuel Davis of our staff.
Representative Yeke Kolba needs to be very careful.
Why do you say so?
He needs to be careful. He needs to refrain from insulting our president. He's provoking us that see him as our leader. I'm saying that here, let the message go wide and clear. Henceforth, I will personally flog Yeke Kolba, seeing him anywhere. Any insult from him.
It sounds laughable.
To you, it sounds laughable. I'm serious about it. I have monitored him many occasions. He doesn't bring substance to the discussion. He doesn't come with any tangible issue to discuss. Since he's spent his time in the legislature, he has not written one proposal to be dropped at the level of plenary for discussion. All he goes there to do is to demonize his colleague, is to insult our leader. It got to stop. It got to stop, and it got to stop now.
Are you seeking
and
political
I will
attention?
take the lead to personally flood Yeke Kolba whenever he's been seen around.
So when you speak of beating Yeke Kolba, are you seeking some political attention here?
I don't need no political attention. I'm serious here. I'm serious. Anywhere that I interact with Yeke Kolba, I will personally flog him. This rudeness, this gross disrespect, got to stop. President Weah is our president, whether we like him. He has a tenure. And after his tenure, when we do not like him, let us go at the ballot box and democratically vote him out. For him to be our president, and you get one grossly irresponsible, inept representative who has done nothing for his people, will continuously insulting our leader, that is unacceptable.
Are you equally insulting the lawmaker?
I'm not insulting, he's inept. Haven't you covered the legislature? Haven't you monitored what bill has he presented on that floor to be discussed? What tangible has he done for his people? What representation has he made for the people? Just to stay in there and throw insult at his colleague and insult our leader? This got to stop.
Harry, you might be taking the law into your hand.
I'm not taking the law in my hand. I'm saying I will flog him And I'm serious about it.
That is taking the law into your hands.
I am serious about
Why
this.
don't you seek recourse?
I'm not going to seek recourse. Whenever he gets into the public, when he insults the president, he said the president must take him to court, because he knows that the president brings what we call a great magnanimity to the presidency, so he's taking advantage of that.
Cry wolf. When you go fighting everyone,
I say I will whip him. I'm not talking about everyone, I'm talking about Representative Koluba. I will whip him. I will whip him.
Over now to this development, the campaign for equitable participation in government is on the rise as women organizations continue to provide education on the importance of equitable participation. A women group organization for women and children today held a panel discussion program to discuss how women in Liberia can take action to ensure equitable inclusion. Speaking at the program, the executive director of the Young Women Christian Association, Rosalind Tue, said women need to be more aggressive if they must succeed in the political arena.
That we have with participation in Liberia is lack of sharing proper information to the women in the political parties. We've been working, the men, they meet at 12 a.m. in the night to 2 a.m. to take decision for the political party, while the children, the women at home minding the kids. In our country, Liberia, the political party do not give reference or preference to women to become vice president, to become legislators, because they feel that only men can take decisions on behalf of women. When there is election and we go into the community to educate women on how they can vote for women candidates, the first thing is the women that castigate those women, how they got 10 children by 10 men. It is the women who are cheerleading for the political gangster, we call them, that say they want to be rulers over us. They are the ones, they are foot soldiers. And the first person they get to, the cheerleader she just spoke about, is the girlfriend to the man in the community. So the cheerleader in turn convince the community member to vote for that man. Lack of respect for each other. That's why we are not getting the inclusion we need. We discriminate amongst ourselves as women. On political participation, women have to be aggressive. We be, lingling, or a woman, if I go there, what do people will say about me? And a man who killed somebody during the war, that we all know can be elected 4 times. How much more about you who never kill a chicken?
Also speaking at the occasion was Madam Veda Simpson, who called on women to support each other and also work with the youthful population during elections to avoid electoral violence.
I'm a firm believer that empowered women empower women. And what does that mean? That means that no matter your stage, your status, where you are, if you're empowered, meaning that you're somewhat independent, you're independent thinking, you're moving forward, and you're politically astute, and you're looking to make sure that other women are moving, then you need to empower women. So it's actually critical, because in order to increase women's political participation, we will not get there without women pushing women. We need to stand on the shoulders of other women who've been there. We need to use them as role models, but we also need to work together. Another issue I believe as women, and excuse me for like jumping straight into it, but I think we all agree that it's a good thing to have this 50-50, to have women walking side by side with men in politics, because that's where the decisions are made. That's how we decide where the schools are, what's going to happen, where the clinics will be, how we women and our children are affected. So assuming that we're already on that platform. So women working with women, but then also women working with the youth in order to empower women and in order to reduce violence during elections. Violence against women. Women need to work with women, but women need to work with youth. They are our children. They will listen to us. And actually seeing that model, I really understood that women working with women and then women working with youth is a good way forward.
Any sports Liberia's rifle team comprising home-based players have arrived in Dakar, Senegal for the 2019 WAFU Nations Cup. The team is led by former BYC coach Robert Latte and will face Sierra Leone on Sunday, September 29. Meanwhile, the senior national team led by coach Peter James Butler is expected to arrive in Botswana today ahead of an international friendly against Botswana on Monday, September 30. Liberia was invited by Botswana for the international friendly as part of programs marking the South African nation 53rd Independence Day celebration. On that sporting development, that's how we go home on this weekend's edition of KMTV News Today. But before we go, a recap of the headlines. Women in Liberia called on to be more aggressive in their approach if they must succeed in the political arena of the country. Progressive Alliance for the Promotion of the Purple Agenda threatens to flog Representative Yeke Koluba for what we also saw in the news clip. Well, we say many thanks to you for always joining our news broadcast from across the globe. On behalf of the entire news team here, my name is Anthony Kukui. You can also visit our website at www.kmtvliberia.com for more news and information. Until then, good night.